1 week from tonight, GOP candidates will take the stage for the second presidential debate. Kevin Corke is back with us on who's in and who's out and what we're learning from the latest Fox News power rankings. Kevin.
Trace, former President Trump, this will not surprise you and probably not many folks who are listening tonight. He remains the runaway favorite among GOP primary voters this evening. That, according to the very latest national Fox News survey, with 60% of GOP primary voters saying, yeah, they backed the former president for the nomination. So, no surprise, he continues to lead the Fox News power rankings. In fact, he's the only candidate with the number like that. The only others in double digits are Vivek Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis, 13 and 11%, although Ramaswamy continues to inch ever closer to the Florida governor. Now, they headline the list of challengers, joined by Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, and, of course, the former VP Mike Pence. As for moving up or down in this latest Fox News survey, well, the power rankings say it's Ramaswamy up by 1, ditto for the former South Carolina governor and UN Ambassador Haley, while South Carolina Senator Tim Scott slides by a couple in our rankings. And on our latest business survey in the Palmetto State, you guessed it, former President Trump continues to dominate up huge over his closest competitor. And nearly 78%, make that almost 8 in 10, of GOP primary voters, Trace, say the former president's actions following the 2020 election were a legitimate effort to make sure votes were tallied accurately. That is interesting. Back to you.
He just keeps rising. Kevin, thank you. If you're planning to tune in to the next GOP debate hosted by Fox Business on Wednesday, September 27th, 1 week from now, keep your TV on because Fox News at Night will be live from the Reagan Library in Simi Valley, California. Right after that, we'll talk to the candidates and we'll have all kinds of guests. Going to be very fun. Join us live 1 week from tonight. Meantime, let's bring in Mehek Cooke, attorney and GOP political strategist, and James Kimmey, executive director of Senate Working Group. Welcome to both of you. I want to put the best debate performance from last time up on the screen. You'll notice there's only 6 candidates because this next debate will have, we think, only 6 candidates unless a couple of others make a big rally. You can see best debate performance goes to Vivek Ramaswamy, according to Fox Business, Nikki Haley in second, and Ron DeSantis third. What do they need to do, Mehek, this time around to really, make their move stand out, step out?
I think each candidate needs to distinguish themselves. Nikki Haley has been a successful UN ambassador, a successful governor, but I need Nikki Haley to tell us what are the solutions for Bidenomics? How do we get our economy back on track? And how are we going to balance the budget? I mean, we are at a fiscal debt crisis in our country. Vivek Ramaswamy from Ohio, very excited to see him on the debate stage, but Vivek needs to now reach out to all voters. I know he has the young voters. I know people find him very intelligent, but what are we talking about here, Vivek?
Right.
Talk about the economy. Tell me how we're going to go from paycheck to living the American dream. Tell me how that's possible. There are a lot of topics that they need to discuss. Prosperity is possible, but we need solutions from these candidates.
And I want to know from you, James Kimmey, is this a make or break for any of these 6 candidates? Do you think we could lose a couple after this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as we inch closer to Iowa, which will be in mid-January, I think those that are not supportive of President Trump have to rally behind another candidate, because the reality is the more the field is crowded, the harder it is for them to be to inch closer to the president. I think we're going to see as time goes on that field is going to get smaller and smaller, and it has to. It has to, in order for us to have a definitive winner at the end of the day.
So let me put these up on the screen because we'll go through a couple of these. First, the Iowa GOP caucus voters here. This one's kind of interesting because you look at it and you got Donald Trump clearly in the lead, Ron DeSantis in second, Nikki Haley third. Doesn't seem anything's out of the ordinary. But then you move on and you show the South Carolina numbers, right? Now it's interesting because you have Trump clearly in the lead. Nikki Haley takes over second place. Ron DeSantis is third, and Vivek Ramaswamy is way down there. What do you make of that, James?
Yeah, I think that when you look at both of those, Ambassador Haley actually did fairly well. You went from single digits to double digits in Iowa, and she actually increased by 2 points in South Carolina, her home state. But when you look at that same poll in South Carolina, Donald Trump dropped by 2, DeSantis dropped by a few. So it's actually quite interesting. She's definitely tapping in to a specific universe, whether it's the Never Trump universe or an alternative to Trump. So she's doing it fairly effectively. The question at the end of the day, Trace, is is anybody going to beat Trump? And I don't think that's going to happen.
And you know, Mehek, you look at this thing and you're like, well, different places, different outcomes. Vivek Ramaswamy is smoking it in one poll and not doing very well in South Carolina.
Nikki Haley is underestimated. She's always been underestimated. I think her ground game is really strong. She's going to be somebody that we need to keep watching. But look, at the end of the day, Trump has such a large lead because the American people trust him. We have been lied through government, from vaccines to lockdowns. We are oppressed today, and we're watching President Trump go through the same thing that the American people are going through. So unless somebody can tell us what these solutions are and how they're better than President Trump, he's going to be our next candidate.
Lastly, I want to put up the power rankings here. Kevin Corke kind of alluded to these a little bit. The front runner, you see Donald Trump, and then you go down the list with Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, and then Mike Pence, and then the wild card. The rest seem to be kind of afterthoughts here. It seems like a lot of the pundits say that two of those people are going to be gone, James. Which two go after next week?
I think it's Asa Hutchinson.
Asa's already there. They're already gone.
Yeah,
I mean, on the next row.
Oh, on the next row? That's a good question. I think it's ultimately going to come down to fundraising and being able to engage with the donors. I don't really see a scenario, unless Chris Christie absolutely kills it next week. I don't necessarily see him lasting into mid-January.
Mehek, two people that you think leave. 5 seconds.
Pence and Chris Christie, they just have to go. It's time for a change.
Mehek, James, thank you both.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.